Alright, set my phone down there. This will be take 3. As it normally happens, my phone takes a shit, bugs out, whatever. I wanted to redo a video I did a while back, talking about, the true definition of success. I went back and watched that video, and it was utter shit, you know. So I wanted to redo it, and, talk about the whole thing for the 3rd time. You know, I've been filming for an hour, and it keeps cutting off. But anyway, whatever. In our culture, you can't tell me I'm wrong, because it's a fact. When you're a young kid, you're growing up. As a child, you are, in a sense, innocent, I guess. You don't know of anything of the world. You're learning. And then come these assholes. You know, your parents, school teachers, whatever, you know, authority figures. You must think this way. You must believe this thing. You must do this thing. And they try to bang it into your head for 18 years, and you grow up, you become an adult. Oh, I'm a Catholic. Well, you weren't when you were a kid. You know, it's because of brainwashing you. People like to collectivize other people. I guess the best way to say it is, it's human nature to want to collectivize. You know, and you see this with, like, young kids. They have rebellious tendencies. You see it in teenagers and stuff. They want to think for themselves, and what do they get? Ridicule from their parents and authority figures and shit like that. And then they end up conforming in the end anyway, and live a miserable fucking life. And generally, the general principle of this video is to say, live the way you want to live. You know, there's a passage in the Bible that says, lead a quiet life and mind your own business. I'm not a Christian, I'm a pagan, but it's a very true quote, you know. Lead a quiet life and mind your own business. This is a good philosophy, too. Don't bother anybody else with your fucking shit. Don't bother anybody else with your views, you know. And be quiet, you know. You don't bother anybody else. That other person should be bothering anybody else. Live your own life, do your own thing, you know. That means marry who you want to marry. That means be who you want to be with. I know within the Bible's context it doesn't mean that. Within mine, what I'm saying is it does. Because the Bible's fucking bullshit. You know, so do whatever you want to do. But see, that's also my opinion. I say that's the Bible's bullshit. There's a lot of people that disagree. You know, that's my view. And I'm not going to go pushing that on other people. They probably will with me, though. So whatever. What else would you expect? But, But you see that the majority of people in society would disagree with that. You know, oh, lead a quiet life and mind your own business. Oh, you can't do that because, or some stupid shit. That's not right. If you lead a quiet life and mind your own business, some Nazis will take over or some stupid shit, you know. We can't be individualistic. We need to collectivize and do away with freedom, says the far left, says fucking, what was the dumbass's name? Linda Sarsour. Oh, everybody needs to be Islamic because the world would be so great. Why don't you shut the fuck up, leave people alone, dumbass? You know, I think the world would be much better if people like Linda Sarsour would just shove a dirty sock in their mouth, you know. Be great. Fantastic, even. Because then people with brains could think. Yeah, people with brains could talk. People could be more individualistic. People could go and do as they please. But no, you have these moralists that want to cram shit down your throat. That's the world we live in, though, so whatever. And isn't that a problem? Do you even have to say that? This is the world we live in, you know? This is a shitty world, man. Shit. It really is. But, I want to talk about evolutionary traits in man. And this ties in with it. Why do people have this sort of urge to collectivize, you know? Make you think the way they think, and impress their ways upon you. It's because it goes back to the caveman days. Erg and Og, 2 cavemen. They're with this tribe, the North tribe or some shit. They're up in the hinterlands hunting elk or something. You know? This is a bad example because this is not historically accurate at all. Cavemen didn't fucking live in Europe. They maybe Bering Land Bridge, but cavemen like Neanderthals and shit way before that. You know, they were out of Africa probably, or Egypt, the Middle East, Mesopotamia, that shit. But not Mesopotamia, but Africa. You know what I mean. Anyway, but it sort of evolved in that time period. Because let's say you have Erg and Og. These 2 people disagree with one another. The rest of the tribe hinges upon. Their survival hinges upon these 2 people because they're the best hunters in the whole tribe. They either kill one another based on their disagreements, or they leave one another alone and go off in the woods and start their own new tribes. That old one dies. So that's a large swath of people that just died because of a disagreement between two people. And evolution says we cannot have this. We have to collectivize. And it's sort of not communistic, not in the communistic way, but we have a communistic economic system or some shit like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying within human culture, it's natural to want to collectivize things and have extreme levels of organization down to the T, down to the nth degree. But you have, that's what you have. And I think that's where it started too. And there's some people in society today that don't have that. They think for themselves. I guess I could be one of them. I don't claim to be superior to anybody else, but I do have autism, and I do tend to think outside the box on a lot of things. And I think that what that is man's way of evolving out of that collectivism. It's sort of I think the natural thing is for man to naturally evolve into a sort of individualistic mentality. I think that we're finding out that's a better way to do things slowly over time than to collectivize and oppress people and shit like that. But, I guess you could say capitalism was that way too. Capitalism was sort of an offshoot of the monarchy and all that shit you have in the old world, which the old way of doing things is you have this one person that collectivizes his tribe together, which would be his kingdom. He gets his tribe together and he says, you will do this, you will do that, you will do this, or you're fucking dead. Because you're a threat to the tribe, you're a threat to us, you gotta get rid of you, Then comes America, then comes the new world, capitalism. People, they say, well, you can do whatever you want to. Start your own business, do your own thing, believe what you will. It's America, do what you want. And you get this sort of individualistic mentality about it, and I think that's just like the natural evolution of things. But, it'll probably cycle back to, I think we're seeing it now, it'll probably cycle back to that same dark time that it was before, but you get this thing from evolution, which is that it's exactly that. Collectivism comes from evolution, I believe, and I think we're evolving out of it. But in the meantime, it is impossible for us to have a culture that's based on individuality. So the best thing you can do is follow that way of thinking which would be lead a quiet life and mind your own business. Everything's artifice. The world around you is total artifice. Everything that surrounds you is probably a social construct out of the things that have been 100% proven by science. I need to check the time on this. See how long it's been recording. Okay. It cuts me off at about 20 minutes, I think. So I can't record for too long, but just long enough to get my point across. I'm very long-winded, as you know, obviously. But everything's artifice, really. When you look at the world around you, you get this. If you think outside the box about this, and you look around you, everybody's wrong. You have these Christians that say there's a God, atheists that say there is a no God, there's nothing. When you die, it's just depressing darkness for millions of years. You don't even perceive darkness, you're just a fucking zombie, you're just a fucking corpse. Okay, woohoo, wonderful, have fun. Yeah, I think I'll opt out of believing that shit. That's also not a known fact, by the way. Science has not proven that. It's just commonly accepted. And even in the realm of technology, the electric car is the be-all, end-all of technology. Well, for all you know, 30 years a fucking company could come along called Dick Incorporated, or just some random-ass name, they come around with their fucking UFO creation. It'll go from here to Mars, supersonic. It'll go from here to Mars in a matter of seconds. And then that changes their entire perception of reality, Because right now the perception of reality is, hey, here's a good example. In the 1920s, it was thought to be impossible for a car to go faster than 60 miles per hour. What do cars do today? Cars push 300. In 50 years, you'll have flying cars, probably. You'll have hover vehicles. We're already inventing some of it now. We're going to be having interstellar travel if we don't collapse as an empire, which from infighting, which is what happened to Rome, and history tends to repeat itself. But if we don't collapse anytime soon, we could achieve interstellar travel and reach the stars. We could do that. Many say it's impossible now, but it can happen. Very possible. NASA's already got a prototype particle accelerating thruster. using particles to move itself. And it's this crazy thing, it doesn't even need fuel. And imagine this getting out there, man. Imagine this thing getting built and what's going to decide would change everything, change the entire perception of reality. Religion would change, the culture would change, everything would change. And that's what happens. Within human culture, within humanity, everything's ever changing, nothing's ever static, and nothing is really true. Kind of like with gender roles, people want to bring this up today. The male, you're born, the right wing likes to use this. You're born a male, XY chromosomes, you have to be masculine. No, you fucking don't. There's plenty of males that are feminine. I'm somewhat feminine myself. Not on camera, obviously. I don't like to freak people out. A lot of people get uncomfortable by that. So I do it, whatever, around friends and stuff that don't give a shit. But like, people are just different. People are, it's totally malleable. There's all kinds of people from all kinds of different walks of life with different ideas and all kinds of different stuff. Nothing is really true, dude. Everything, like I explained a minute ago, I used that car example. Everything's ever changing, In 1,000 years, Christianity might not even be a thing anymore. In 1,000 years, we'll have some other religion that supplants it or something. It's the way things work. So it's just pure stupidity for anyone to say that their way of doing things is the ultimate be-all, end-all. The truth is, even capitalism's not... you're told from birth, you're told as a little kid, from cradle to grave, you're told you have to be a part of the system, you have to participate in it. No, you don't. You can go and buy your 1 acre of land, go off in the woods and become a hermit. Disappear, not even pay your property tax. The government will come and seize the property, probably want to know you're out there on it. You can go off in the damn hinterlands, and build we have 1,200 acres of land out here where I live. Collectively owned by the family, I guess. Our family owns it. We kind of like share it with one another or whatever. But you can go out there on that. There's parts of that land where the timber hasn't been trimmed for 300 years and it's just growed up. Build you a shack, live in it. You fucking FBI wouldn't know you're out there in that motherfucker, man. You could vanish from reality out there. That's what I'm talking about. You don't have to participate in anything. Make your own system and participate in that. Alexander the Great, overthrow the current system, build your own, overkill Persia. Just take this entire thing and make it into your own image. You can do that if you're smart enough to do it and have the wherewithal to do such a thing. It's possible. Anything's possible. Humans, even the idea of impossibility is a total social construct. It's artifice, And it's a much more fun way of thinking. You live a lot better life, and you live a lot more fun life when you think like that, that things aren't set in stone, things can be changed at a whim and things. It makes for a more fun existence. It's a better way to think, too, and positive. What's more positive? Believing that there's this tyrannical God in the sky that will cast you into hell for being gay, or or you can believe that it doesn't fucking matter, live how you want to, and then whatever. I think the latter is quite a bit more positive. Where are we at? 13 minutes, okay. But live a quiet life and mind your own business. Do what you want. It's that Bible quote for you, Just do what you want to. People will say what they will. There are people here, around where I live, that are so fucking crazy that they still think that gay people, trans people also, need forceful conversion therapy to be forced into Christianity. They think that there's literally something wrong with people that aren't Christians mentally. They have not left the 40s. There are people around here that think that blacks are less than whites and need to be lynched because they're black. It's just, that's the way some people think in the Boondocks. It's a dying generation. The majority of people think that way, are like in their 80s. But there are still people that think that way. And they think that way of thinking is the be-all and all. Meanwhile, the rest of the world has shifted. But 50 years ago, that was the norm. That is what everybody thought. Blacks get behind whites. Women behind men. Gays, just kill them. That was the way of thinking 150 to 100 years ago. Now, not anymore. Now, pretty much any way of life is accepted within America. We're like the most culturally advanced culture on earth. It's awesome. But you see what I'm talking about, how things change. So here's the thing. Do what you want to with your life. And don't listen to people that'll tell you you'll never be successful in doing anything. You'll never be anything. You'll never amount to shit. I was told that as a kid. You'll never amount to shit. Well, who gives a fuck, Do what you want to do. Go off in the woods and start your little cult colony, and in 100 years you could have a religion that spans the world. Do what you want to, dude. It's your life. Live it the way you want to, and don't let anyone tell you how you should live it. People, that won't stop people from trying to impress their ideals upon you. Now, don't get me wrong, but don't listen to it. You don't have to listen to it, so don't. Be your own person. Be your own man. Live your own life, or woman. Be your own man or woman. Live your own fucking life. Do what you want to. Like these gender non-binary people, who are they hurting? Who are they hurting? Oh yeah, I think of myself as, or these androgynous people. I guess they're pretty much, the term gender non-binary makes no fucking sense. It's just androgyny. They think they're somewhere in between male and female. That's the dictionary definition of androgyny. So whatever, they're just androgynous. Okay, well, I believe myself to be part male, part female. Okay, well, who do they hurt? I mean, some people may think that's stupid, but they're not hurting anybody. So long as some of them do. Some of them are probably Antifa members, but some of them don't. And the ones that don't hurt nobody, why bother them? Let them think what they will. You know, just like Christians. Those that don't bother nobody, let them think what they will. Lead a quiet life and mind your own fucking business. If people believed in that philosophy, and sadly we cannot because of human nature at this particular point in history, maybe 1,000 years from now we can, but as of now, we cannot. It's impossible. That is impossible, at least within the main scheme of humanity. Within humanity, it's impossible. There's probably other races out there that have achieved it, but with us at this point in our evolution, it's fucking impossible. Maybe for a handful of people, it's not. For the majority of people, it's fucking impossible. So, it's natural human tendency to want to collectivize, but that doesn't mean you have to fall into that as well. Create your own tendency. You know, if you think, just think for yourself. It's better for you. You know, instead of just believing what everybody else wants you to think. Think for yourself. Make up your own ideas. Make your own religion. I have my own. I say I'm a pagan, but I don't believe in any predetermined path. I think for myself and made my own weird shit up. I venerate the universe. I don't worship any god. You know, a lot of people don't do that, and they think, what the fuck, that's weird. I think it's okay. I'm not bothering anybody. Do what you want to do. Hey, and I could spread the word about that. I could go off in the woods, start me a little cult, and believe in that shit, and in 100 years, I could have an entire nation believing in that. That's how Christianity started. People said, oh, they're crazy. This dude going off in the woods, oh, what's his name, Jesus? He's a fucking nut job. He's going off in the woods worshiping the trees and shit. He's weird. Guess what happened? Boom! The entire world exploded. It was like a Christian revolution. The entire world went Christian for a time. Same with Islamism, you know. It was just some dude with an idea that got it out there. That's the way anything works. That's everything is artifice. Just like to people today, they think the best life to live is to grow up, get the big house, work the 9 to 5, be a wage slave, and that's it. You know, that's the best life to live, reproduce, have like 2 kids, and get you a dog, and get you a really nice car. You know, that's the best life you can have. And live and have a lot of technology around. You get the latest smartphone from Apple and stuff like that, or Android or whatever, Samsung, whatever. You get these ideas, but then you look back at ancient Greece and you see how primitive people were and how much happier they were with so much less responsibility. My idea, I think that the less responsibility a person has, the happier they are. I'm not saying you ain't got to work, but do work that is beneficial to you and more gratifying. You know, go off the grid, plant a garden, live off the land. You would be a much happier person than you would be working for fucking shit Donald's in the middle of Shitsville, you know, in the middle of New York, dingy looking city, dingy looking restaurants, surrounded by dingy people that are culturally backwards. You know, you'd be better off slamming your head in the door. It's just, think for yourself, man, and make up your own ideas. And the thing is, if you believe in what you believe in strong enough, people will follow you. You can change the world. You can do anything, because nothing's impossible. If you don't like the way things are, you can change things. And that's what's so great about the world. You know, if you don't like the way it is, all you have to do is put your voice out there and change it. It's just as simple as that. I guess, but I pretty much have talked this video out. You know, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'm pretty well done here. I'm about to cut it off, but I just wanted to close in saying that to live how you want, people will try to force you to collectivize. Don't let them. Think what you will. Make up your own ideas. Think for yourself. Be an individualist, and others will follow in that thinking. Lead by example. And I think if we can do that, the world can be a much better place. Anyway, peace out. I'll see you around.